Hi, San Diego. If you are a homeowner and you are thinking of selling your property, you won't want to miss this video. I want to save you from making one of the most common and most expensive mistakes that I see sellers make all of the time, which is spending money you don't need to spend to prepare your home for listing. I'm Kimberly Schmidt, San Diego real estate agent and expert with Compass. I have sellers and buyers, but sellers all over the county prepare their homes for market. I know what buyers want, and I will tell you today what things you should do and what things you shouldn't do to prep your home for sale. Let's get started. Let's start off by talking about what this preparation is. Yes, it is making your home look nice, but it literally is your strategy for getting top dollar. And what I mean by that is when you have a well-prepared listing and you are intentional about its presentation, you are creating urgency. And when you create urgency, you are then creating offers, which will hopefully drive up your sales price. When you neglect to prepare and you have a home that is not looking its best, then your strategy at that point has really gone out the window because buyers are going to start ticking away at all of the money that they are going to have to spend once they buy the home, and they are just chopping those dollars off of their offer price as they walk through your property. So yes, we are looking nice, but also this is strategic so that you can get the very, very most for your home. Okay, so what are the main things that buyers are going to notice when they walk through your property? I can give you the top 4. They are cleanliness, smell, light, and condition. Cleanliness, your home must be spotless. Even if it's an absolute fixer, that's totally okay. It needs to be clean. Smell, if there is an odor, everyone is going to notice it. And we have a saying, if I can smell it, I cannot sell it. So we don't want 20 air fresheners to cover something up. We want the odor to be gone. Mostly the odor disappears when the house is clean. Light, dark, light, buyers comment on that almost immediately. We want the window coverings open. We want to mitigate a low light situation as much as we can. And then condition, what hasn't been well cared for, have some timely updates been made throughout the property. Those are the main things that buyers are going to be looking at. If a house has good bones, then they will overlook not having updates as long as it's clean and bright and fresh and it smells good. Okay, so what are the things we are actually going to spend money on? They are professional cleaning. Number 1, if you don't do anything else, at least have your home professionally cleaned. All the appliances, the windows, the vent registers, the baseboards, all of it. Painting. You will get the most bang for your buck if you have the inside and or outside of your home painted. I have great colors that I can provide to you that are neutral and look pretty. That we want that bright, fresh, updated look, and paint will just get you miles of that over virtually anything else you do in your home. The flooring would be next. Let's look at the carpet. Let's look at the hardwood floors. Will cleaning the carpet suffice, or should we have it replaced? And then this ties into, are there odors in the house and is it coming from the carpet? Lighting is one that is a change you can make where you don't have to spend a lot of money, and it can really change the feel of your home. Paint, flooring, and lighting, and suddenly your house feels 20 years newer. Can be very affordable. You can get stuff at big box stores. Just a new dining room fixture or something in the bathroom can really go a long way. The curb appeal, let's get the landscaping looking good. It does not need to be fancy, but water your lawn. Let's make sure everything's clean. We can do some mulch. We can trim everything and make it look good. And suddenly we've gone from worn and lived in to bright and pretty and fresh, and it hasn't cost you an arm and a leg. Okay, so what are we not going to spend money on? 99% of the time, you do not need to do a full kitchen remodel. You do not need to spend $60,000. Most of the time, if a kitchen really needs to be redone, a buyer is going to do that and they'll choose their own finishes. But if we just need it to look bright and clean and sort of updated, a lot of times we can do a refresh. We can paint cabinets. We can do new hardware. We can change out lighting fixtures or a sink. Sometimes we'll do counters. You can go a long way and not spend a ton of money and have your kitchen look better. Same with the bathrooms. We typically don't have to have you completely remodel all of your bathrooms. We can do the refresh there as well with a new, a refinished tub, shower enclosure, new hardware, painting the cabinets, maybe a new mirror. The other thing too is know your price point. Know the price point in your neighborhood and don't overfinish your home. You don't need the highest end appliance unless that's the neighborhood that you're in. So we can often go with something that's not the least expensive, but maybe like a mid-grade something that is a quality item, but it's not going to break the pocketbook. And for the exterior part, you do not need to do elaborate landscaping. Keep it clean, keep it simple. We can do some mulch. We're not going to go in and add 20 rose bushes and retaining walls and new pavers. We're working with what we have. You just don't need to overspend and do all of this stuff in order to launch the property. The goal here is be mindful, be intentional, and do the things that will get you the most bang for your buck. Okay, then let's talk about the furnishings in the home. So most of my listings I have professionally staged. And I think most people know already that a professionally staged home just looks infinitely better than a regular lived-in house. That being said, sometimes you just have to live in your house, right? You're living in it and there is no way to have it staged. When that happens, I often like to bring in a stager and do a quick consultation of how can we move the things around that are in the house so that the home looks its best. That's a service I think sellers really appreciate. It's not coming from me, it's coming from the stager, and this is all she does. And she will say, okay, let's put this away, let's put that away. That's huge when someone's living in the home. When it's vacant and we have the space and time for staging, then that's really when a house looks its best. The videography and photography look fantastic. Do we want to look at an empty box? Not usually. We want buyers to connect with the property, and when they go into a home and they can sit down and they can literally see where everything goes, it allows them to form an emotional connection with the property that just simply typically doesn't happen with a vacant home. It's something that everyone should think about, and we usually just talk through all of this when we're walking through your home. So how does all of this come together? This is a strategy. It is intentional. We are meeting at the property, walking through, and I usually give my sellers a punch list and I say, if I have your permission to speak freely, then I will share with you what I would do if this was my house and I was preparing this home for market. Typically, that's exactly what they want. And we'll just start making a punch list and say, okay, these are the top priority items. And usually it's the cleaning, the paint, the things that we've already talked about. So we're, working through that list. And then we're looking at the market data and seeing what's been selling. How did these homes compare? What do we have that they don't? What did they have that we don't? Where do we fall on that spectrum? So we are preparing. We are looking at the data. We are looking at the data again and then again right before we go on the market to really hone in on the pricing so that we have a really great looking place with a spot on price, and we go on the market and then we have a sense of urgency. And buyers can tell when a home comes on. Was time spent on this? Was it intentional? Was it mindful? Yes, it was. This number makes sense. It makes sense for the market, for today's market. Let's write an offer. If this sounds like an approach that you like, reach out to me. Use this no matter who you work with. When you're thinking about how am I going to prepare my house? I want to be smart about it. It's your biggest investment. Go through this checklist and take a look at all of these items and see if that helps you make some good decisions. I will see you next time. Thank you so much.